3 Atlas just pulled off the biggest scandal in space history. A comet, barely 5 kilometers wide, stood up to the sun and humiliated NASA in front of the entire scientific world. What should have been a routine observation turned into a nightmare. On July 1st, 2025, NASA confirmed something impossible. The solar wind bent around 3 Atlas, a cosmic hurricane of charged particles moving at nearly 1,000,000 miles per hour should have shredded the comet to pieces. Instead, it deflected. A shield, invisible but undeniable, wrapped itself around the object. NASA's first reaction was simple: denial. They called it a glitch, an error in the system, maybe static, maybe a hiccup in the instruments. But the truth was about to corner them, because only 2 minutes later, the Parker Solar Probe, orbiting dangerously close to the sun, picked up the exact same magnetic spike. And thousands of miles away, MAVEN, drifting near Mars, recorded the solar wind veering off course. 3 spacecraft, 3 separate positions, 1 single event. The odds of a coincidence? 0. The scandal was set. NASA scrambled. Teams at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory dug into the logs. Engineers tore apart the code, rerunning every sequence to see if something, anything, could have faked the reading. But the answer was always the same. The magnetic field was real. 3 Atlas had done the impossible, and that left NASA with only 2 choices: admit they had no idea what was happening, or try to control the story. They chose the second. The agency released a weak statement: the signals are real, but unexplained. More study is needed, but everyone inside knew it was worse. Their models, their laws of physics, their entire framework of understanding had just been shattered by a rock no bigger than a city. And 3 Atlas wasn't finished. Weeks later, Hubble turned its gaze on the object. What it found only deepened the scandal. Instead of a normal tail pointing away from the sun, 3 Atlas flashed an anti-tail, a stream of dust, pointing straight toward the light. It looked like the comet wasn't running from the sun. It was confronting it, challenging it. Now the cover-up looked ridiculous. NASA mumbled about ice grains and projection effects, but independent observatories confirmed it. The anti-tail was real. The comet had flipped nature upside down. Inside the scientific community, cracks began to spread. Some suggested 3 Atlas had absorbed magnetic energy from a long-dead supernova, carrying the residue of a stellar explosion across galaxies. Others claimed plasma interactions might have built a temporary shield, but no model could explain the sheer strength. No comet should carry the power of a planet. And yet, here it was, bending solar fire like an invisible fortress. And as the theories collapsed, whispers grew louder. What if 3 Atlas wasn't natural at all? What if this was technology, an ancient spacecraft disguised as stone and ice, using an energy field beyond human understanding? For NASA, that idea was the ultimate humiliation. For decades, they had built themselves as the gatekeepers of knowledge, the final word on space. Now, a tiny interstellar visitor was mocking them, rewriting the script line by line. Every attempt to regain control backfired. The more they spoke, the weaker they sounded. Temporary magnetism, they claimed. Random plasma, they insisted. But the evidence was brutal. The solar wind bent, the anti-tail shone. The comet kept moving, untouched, unstoppable. 3 Atlas became the scandal no one at NASA wanted to talk about, because it wasn't just about one comet. It was about the laws of the universe. If a rock could carry a shield, what else was possible? If the sun could be bent by something so small, what else could be hiding out there? It was a showdown between pride and reality. NASA, clinging to its image, desperate to hold on to control, and 3 Atlas, silent but relentless, proving over and over that the rules we thought were solid could be broken. And in that showdown, there was only one winner. Because while NASA fumbled with excuses, 3 Atlas soared on, rewriting physics, rewriting science, and leaving humanity's most powerful space agency humiliated on the cosmic stage. The scandal isn't over. The comet is still out there, still bending winds, still burning its defiant anti-tail toward the sun. And every moment it survives, every moment it resists, the message grows louder. The universe is not what we think it is. NASA thought it could define the rules, but 3 Atlas just showed the world who's really in charge.
It all began with a meltdown in the stars. An object appeared that broke every rule of space. At first, they called it Swan R2, a comet. But this wasn't a comet. It was proof that everything we thought we knew was wrong. Astronomers tried to downplay it, erase it. But the truth slipped through anyway. Swan R2 wasn't drifting like ice. It wasn't tumbling like a rock. It was moving with precision and pulsing with energy, not random, not natural, but controlled. Think about that. Every other comet we've ever tracked wobbles, shatters, or burns off gas in chaos. But Swan R2? Its light dimmed and brightened in patterns that looked like design. And when James Webb focused its gaze, the answer was clear. This wasn't rock, not ice, metal. Dense, engineered alloy, far beyond anything we've ever created. And the tail, not vapor, exhaust, propulsion. A machine was flying through our solar system, wearing the disguise of a comet. And then it got darker. NASA deleted data files. The European Space Agency dismissed it as explainable. China's observatories claimed maintenance. But behind the curtain, their moves told the real story. Satellites reoriented. Deep space antennas shifted. And rockets launched, unannounced, off schedule, heading straight for the ecliptic plane. They weren't ignoring Swan R2, they were bracing for it. Then the signal arrived. Bursts of energy riding its plasma tail. At first, noise. But when researchers ran analysis, the pattern emerged. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden spiral found in DNA, in seashells, in galaxies, not chaos. Code, communication. And every pulse came faster than the last, like a countdown. Now here's where it spills onto Earth. Swan R2 wasn't just approaching the sun, it was timing its orbit to intercept Atlas, another so-called comet. 2 objects, 2 origins, 2 directions, and yet they converged on the same window, the same space, the same time. That's not chance, that's choreography. And then, the impossible. Swan R2 vanished, every telescope, every instrument, gone. For 6 days, nothing, until it reappeared. Not where expected, but at the sun's southern pole, a place where magnetic fields fold in on themselves like a Mobius strip. The moment it crossed that line, Earth was hit. Not by light, not by radiation, by a gamma burst. It lasted less than 1 second, but in that blink it unleashed more energy than our sun emits in 48 hours. And this wasn't scattered randomly. It had a direction, a target. Earth was in its path. And then came the twist no one can explain. Voyager 1, drifting beyond our solar system long past its mission, moved. No update, no human command. It rotated its antenna, 2.4 degrees, and aimed directly at Swan R2. Almost as if it heard something. Almost as if it answered. What does that mean? It means Swan R2 wasn't just broadcasting into the void, it was calling. And Voyager, Our bottle floating in the cosmic ocean responded. Now, here's the part that